Over here is a list of my favorite characters in fiction, and over here is a list of my favorite character designs in fiction. Yes, they are separate lists, but there is quite an amount of overlap as visuals and character design are two things I value very highly in my stories. I'm changing it up. Everything you've seen on the channel up until now are what I would call phase 1 or part 1. I promise the former is not a Marvel reference, it's just what the word means. It's pretty common to label your career into different phases, okay? The latter, however, is absolutely a JoJo reference, because if you can't escape it, then become one with it. I will become one with a JoJo reference. Oh my god! Anywho, everything in part 1 of the channel so far has just been about figuring this stuff out. YouTube and that. Will it work? Can I do it? Do people care? And well, it's worked out pretty well so far, so thanks for that. But this is only the beginning, or even before the beginning. I started my channel in 2016 at what I consider to be the peak of the comic book film craze. I mean, that year we had Deadpool, Batman v Superman, Captain America Civil War, Doctor Strange, X-Men Apocalypse. There was so many superhero films to look forward to, so many that I was excited about. And not to mention, we knew the entire slate of upcoming Marvel films all the way until that mysterious Avengers film in the distant future of 2019. I was never more excited to watch these movies, and I think the rest of the world shared my enthusiasm with that. It was massive, and these movies, Marvel in particular, had a big impact on my perspective, on what was possible and what people would be accepting of in fiction. As well as YouTube channels like Team 4 Star, How It Should Have Ended, and Overwatch, who are producing these incredibly concise and entertaining animated shorts that they would then upload to YouTube for free. What? That was just so good to me. Marvelous. And seeing all the channels pop up here and there that were just talking about comics or comic book films, or just talking about anime and manga series, the video essays about it, or even people that just talk about One Piece. It opened up a lot of possibilities in my mind for a potential career path and what kind of life I could have. And I knew for sure that I wasn't the only one who liked this stuff like I'd believed for so long in the formative years of my life. There was a place now for me to express my interest in art, animation, manga, and comic books. So I started my YouTube channel. And from the beginning, I wanted to create animated shorts of my own. But animating itself wasn't the most fun process, and I like physically having things around me. I wanted to build everything physically with paper and then tell stories with stop motion animation. Literally like that scene you see at the end of the Lego film in 2014 where he walks downstairs and there's this entire world of Lego built. I want that, but with paper. But I knew it would take time. I mean, all the models and sets I'd have to build, all the stuff I'd have to learn, how to market, how to film, how cameras work, how to light a scene, how to audio, how to even write a story, how characters work. It was obvious to me that I wasn't ready, and it would take years to develop everything, all the skills and resources that I needed to get this thing happening. But I was also wise enough to realize back then that I couldn't just sit in my room for 3 years straight doing nothing but building this stuff. I needed to gain experience and get something started to get the ball rolling. So that's why at the beginning of 2016, after scraping through my first year of a Bachelor of Science at university, I decided that I would drop out of university and pursue YouTube as a career path full time when I only had 40 subscribers. Not at all a wise thing to do in retrospect, and things did not just happen for me like I thought they would. Oh no. But it was a time in my life where everything else I had done and was doing began to feel hollow and fake. It wasn't me, and it wasn't really what I wanted or valued. I mean, I didn't actually tell anybody about my artwork. All my friends and family, no one knew I made these paper models because I was so certain that nobody would care at best, and at worst I'd be bullied and shamed for it because cartoons aren't meant for adults. So I started my channel then, just expressing my ideas and interests, showing off my stuff the only way I knew how, picking up skills and figuring it out along the way. I could not have anticipated what it would have taken just to get here right now, and thank God, because you don't need to know that in the beginning. And so on the channel, so far, I've documented my growth since the beginning, since that first official video on February 1st of 2016. But I've just been documenting the process of what I'm doing and then how I'm doing it with the tutorials. And that has been part 1. And part 3 will be when I do the full-blown animated shorts in the vein of a How It Should Have Ended or Team 4 Stars Dragon Ball Z dub. So what's next? Part 2 will be about story. I want to further understand my own taste and my own interest in story and why it's such a prevalent medium, why it matters so much to so many people, myself included, and I want to understand my own story through doing that. So not just what I'm doing or how I'm doing it, but why I'm doing it. And to do that, I'd have to talk about the stories that inspired my art in the first place, the things that I saw that had some minor shift on my perspective, on my worldview, on how I thought about things and how I appreciated things, and how storytelling, I think, at its core is just a reflection of reality. Depicting key parts of it in very specific and detailed ways, giving us a perspective on those things that we otherwise maybe wouldn't have. I can tell you for sure that seeing things in stories and films and animation and learning how to draw things, it just makes me have a lot more love and appreciation for the world and how it works than I would have if I didn't. I mean, like, having to pay attention to clothing and water and light and how things work and the fabric of reality, you really start to look at things differently when you're trying to distort it and exaggerate it and capture it in a little model or a little drawing. But I don't just want to roll a bunch of clips over a headless voice. A lot of people are already doing that and doing it well. It would be much more interesting and unique to me if I was still making the stuff that you've seen on the channel and showing the paper model, showing the drawings, demonstrating the artwork while talking about this stuff instead of just sort of commenting on what I'm showing you. There'll be two different things now. And you know, that's what the paper models are for. That's what these little character cards are for, and that's what the drawings in my book here are for. All of it is just capturing these characters in a consistent scale so you can understand what they would look like with each other. And then when I talk about something, there is a visual to show you what or who I mean. You know? These cards specifically are all the characters that I want to make. Every single one. Well, about a third of them in reality, but there's a lot here, and seeing them manifest here first, then become a full properly proportioned and scaled and colored character sheet, and then they manifest into the 3D model. And this is the 3 phases of creation that make it a 3-dimensional paper model. This, dear viewers, is all the characters I want to make. The characters I want to build a paper world with so I can tell any story I like or talk about any story I like in any way I like. It might take time, but eventually I'll have this paper world. So, this is just the beginning. If you're here now, you've done well to get in early. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your time and attention as always. And yeah, we ain't even halfway yet. So, oh, and there's I've got a Patreon now in the description that you can check out. Please do that if you want to see digital copies of my character cards, of my drawings, or some behind the scenes stuff of like making the videos and my scripts and video notes that I have to produce this stuff. All of that's there if you're interested, but first and foremost, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video here. Thank you. Bye-bye.